Okay, I have been quite good, even if I organized my impulse buying for yarn. So, yes, I did spend a bit of money during the month of August. So, hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small place on the internet where I talk about my knitting life, my knitting adventures, and I have several projects that I have been rolling for several years now, and one of them is what I call now for this year my yarn mindful buy year. I think I will call it my mindful buy for next year because it also includes patterns and books and other things and not only yarn. I did overspend a few years back, and this is why prompted me to start this little project. I have been buying a little bit of yarn during the months of August. It was at the same time planned and unplanned. So, if that is of any interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, we are just going to jump in what I've been buying and which yarn I've been buying this month because I haven't bought anything else. I'm just not wearing any wool today. I'm just back from work. It's quite warm. We are on August 25th of 2025. It's been quite warm, and I was having a shawl, but the shawl was in my bag for the whole day. So no woolen item for today. So we are going to go to what I have been buying since last time I recorded such a video. Maybe it was at the end of July. There is one couple things I've already been talking about, but you haven't seen them. And the two last items I bought, or series or bulk of yarn I bought last Saturday when I was at the little local yarn shop in my area. She had said to me, one, that she was going to be stocking some heavier wool that she thought I would love. She's a good store owner. She knows how to tease my interest. And I also bought another summer yarn to finish some of the summer yarn I've already knit this summer. And it's a bit like I'm afraid. That little piece of bread to finish your cheese and that little piece of cheese to finish your bread. Hopefully it's going to be enough. So if we go in chronological order, this is the oldest one, but not the oldest one in my stash. This yarn is Schoppel Edition 6, and there is a number, 1516. And it's 50 grams. From what I recall, it's a light fingering. Let me check if there is anything in here. So it's 300 meters per 50 grams. So it's a light fingering weight. And this colorway is, in my blue realm. My youngest son bought that for me. He was in Berlin. I'm not sure if it was summer 2024, so a year ago, or Christmas 2023, so a year and a half ago. Either way, he bought that yarn for me. He went to Yarn Over Berlin. I had already said to him, when you are in Berlin, he was visiting his girlfriend from that time. When you are in Berlin, please go say hello to them and see what they have, and I can pay for the yarn, and it can be some kind of a souvenir yarn and everything. So he went there and he asked for some blue yarn that I would like. He bought this thinking he would gift it to me, either for Christmas or my birthday or Mother's Day or something like that. Anyway, this yarn went from Berlin to France, so I think he was in Rennes at the time. It went back to Berlin because he forgot to take it with him the few couple next times after he came back home. It went back to Berlin, then to Prague, then to Lyon, where he currently is, and he just had a short stop at his place to unpack and quickly pack up to come home for a couple of weeks or a week. And he left it there once again. So this yarn has been all over Europe with him in his bag. And he finally brought it with him this summer when he came to visit. And I had told him several weeks in advance, put it in your bag, put it in your bag. I did not know what it was. Okay, so light fingering yarn, and I think it will pair with Holzgarn tights. So tights by Holzgarn is 30% silk and 70% wool, yes, and it's 287 meters per 50 grams. So it's very, very close to the metrage by for the edition 6 wool by Schoppel. I think they will go together quite well because the pearl colorway that I have here is very, very cold colorway. So my first thought was to pair it with tights. I've knit my Madeleine sweater. I have 2 cones because when I knit the Madeleine sweater, I used it double. I had 2 cones, so I have the same exact cone that is left. So either using it with tights or Holzgarn super soft in silver gray. I have to take pictures and see which one is contrasty enough, but I think the silver gray will also match for the super soft, will also match the Schoppel yarn. Anyway, what I have in mind is the Renaissance sweater by Elena Mortensen, and I'm sure I will have plenty, use the Schoppel yarn to make the motif as a self-changing yarn colorway, and I think it would be much better with pairing it with the tights in pearl. Anyway, I'm not yet decided because I do not think it is the proper gauge. This yarn is too thin compared, and also tights, too thin compared to the one that she made the sample in. People have used super soft, but I'm not sure, or I am completely sure they did double it. So we'll see, but my idea is to use this yarn in a colorwork sweater with a self-changing colorway yarn. I may use it in a shawl, but I'd rather use it in a sweater. So if not the Renaissance sweater, I have been teasing my friends at the yarn store that we make the same sweater, the Renaissance sweater, the Renaissance sweater for Le Fil de la Manche next year, so that we can all wear the same one. They are kind of afraid of the pattern, so I'm trying to convince them that there is absolutely no way that they should be so afraid. It's a color work, of course. You have to work quite a bit, and the color work is quite long and goes onto the sleeves and goes past the separation for the sleeves, goes also on the body, past the separation for the sleeves. So yes, it can be quite an endeavor, but I think that the pattern would be perfect with that yarn. I think the Tides and the edition 6 are a bit too thin. So I may do that and recalculate everything and use a very large size to accommodate for my gauge. I may do that. I may do something else, but anyway, this yarn that has been through quite a bit of Europe is finally in my house, and I think I'm going to make the Renaissance sweater or any kind of colorwork sweater. I am also extremely happy to get to use more of that Holzgarn stash. And my Holzgarn haul was the one that threw me overboard when I did overbuy, when they had a sale. And at some point when the boxes, because there were 2 boxes, arrived at my door, I was so surprised. And this is the yarn or the purchase that made me go through a no-buy for 3 years and now a mindful buy. So I'm very happy to be using and getting to that yarn. Okay, next, another yarn. So no calculations for that because I did not pay for the Schoppel Edition 6. Next, a yarn that I bought that I've already talked about, the Scheepjes Downtown. It's a sock yarn, a color 411, Gallery Central. They recommend 2.5 to 3 millimeter needles, and it's 200 meters per 50 grams, so it's a sock yarn. And when I saw this colorway, she just had 1 ball. When I saw this kind of circus colorway, I thought, yes, I want that because I want to try. I already have self-strapping yarn. Of course, I already have. But I want to try some afterthought heels on socks, and I think a self-striping yarn would be just perfect for that. And this one is very happy colors, and the yarn is very soft, so I'm kind of impatient to be casting on this yarn after I finish my Kura socks with the color work. Anyway, not sure I will make the afterthought heel contrasting color or the same color, but this yarn is very happy and very funky and very circus color. So one of you suggested that maybe I use it or swatch with the possum yarn to make Oitisika. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to pair the possum yarn with that yarn. Not the colorway. I think it could be fine, but not the colorway. But not sure I want to pair the possum yarn with that yarn, and I think I want to pair the possum yarn with the yellow mohair. I haven't cast it on yet, but when we were talking last time below my video, this was something that many of you said, and I'm not sure I would like, I would have to swatch, but I think one thing is that the colorway change, I'm not sure it's going to be one round. So that means that some of the little color work is going to be of one color, the other one another color, and another color and everything. If I put that in a sweater, so I'm not sure. Maybe you have already experienced knitting a color work with that kind of self-striping yarn for socks. I think it can work in a beanie that has a much smaller circumference than a sweater, but for the sweater, I'm not even sure I would have one colorway for one round. So first, because I want to pair the possum yarn with wool, with mohair, and second, because I'm not sure the rhythm of the self-changing color is going to be matching a sweater yoke dimension. I don't think I will even swatch with that. But anyway, that was a suggestion, but I think I'm gonna make some sock tube, knit the sock tube, and then do an afterthought heel with that, and with that very funky and happy colorway. And you see, it's matching my shirt, so I'm sure I can wear. I have matching pants that are a little short. I will be able to wear these socks with this outfit. So I paid €8 for that ball, and I just got one. I think it's going to be enough to make a pair of socks. And as I want to do an afterthought heel, I will knit half of the ball for one sock and the other half for the other sock. Okay, next, an impulse buy. That was not such an impulse buy, but quite an impulse buy too, and I knew she was going to be having this yarn. You may remember I have knit the Colocasia t-shirt with Isager Merilin in which colorway? Number 10, some kind of a, blue jean colorway. I have that ball left out of the 5 or 6 I bought, 5 I think. That ball left and a partial ball. The partial ball, I will use it to make the Colocasia sweater a bit longer. I need to work on that one again because it's a bit short. I mean, it's not short, but maybe the way it's constructed, if I put the seam on my shoulders, the front is too high, the back is not good, and if I put the front at the level I want, the back is not good. There are short rows in the sweater, so I'm not sure. I will add some short rows in the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater in the back, and I will knit maybe 1 or 2 centimeters, additional centimeters, and we'll pull the remaining, if any, with that. So I have one ball for sure, and more than one ball, maybe. So one ball, so it's 80% wool and 20% flax or linen, and it's 200 meters for 50 grams. And what I was thinking is that I wanted to make another striped sweater with what was remaining, because she had said, you can return the yarn if you want. And well, one, I don't like to return yarn. I like to use it when I've bought it. And second, I have cats, and my cat's hair can go everywhere. And if you sell that to someone who has cat's allergies, maybe it's not a good idea that I give them back to you. So she said that she was going to get more of Merilin because she is still selling summer yarn. It's still quite nice, quite of a nice weather here in Normandy, a bit warm, and people are still buying summer yarns. So she had made a blouse with the same Merilin and in the beigey white colorway. So this one is the color E0, and I really liked the way it was looking. So what I will do is, so I bought 5 skeins, 5 balls of that. I will do a striped sweater with the beigey white, and to finish the blue one. If I have any left from the beigey white, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Maybe add more sleeves or something. But anyway, I wanted to make a stripy t-shirt, and the one that I've made with the cotton, the remaining cotton from my mother's stash, the leftovers, unknown cotton, I wear it a lot. This cotton is not very nice. It peels a lot. I think it's old. I guess that's the reason why. But I wear it a lot. A lot. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the stripes, the way they look. I've never been a stripes person, and I guess I kind of like it. So I bought 5 balls of Merilin, and so 5 balls of Merilin is 40 euros. So I was thinking, another 40 euros with the one remaining from the other project, and maybe a little bit more. I think what I will do is start with the stripes right away and make the color in blue, because with the SPF, the sunblock cream, it makes all of my colors quite yellow and not nice. So it will show less in the blue than in the creamy white. And then I will stripe until I run out of the blue. I will see how far it goes. Maybe it will go all the way down. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I will make smaller blue stripes and bigger white ones. I may buy a pattern for that, because there is one that I really love. Took me a while to find it again. It's Ship Shape by Heidi Kermeyer. And as I was looking at the pattern, I just saw it was for decay. So I don't mind the decay pattern and knitting it with fingering weight, but I'd rather find something for that pattern or make my own. What I do like in the Ship Shape pattern by Heidi Kermeyer is that the shoulder has stripes, kind of like a saddle shoulder, horizontally, and then the stripes continue front, back, and on the sleeves on the other way. And I really liked that kind of design and that kind of look. So this is why I wanted to make that sweater. I had not checked. I just checked. I will find another one. And if I don't, I will just use my regular, the one that I made with a Mayogan wool, with some kind of a saddle shoulder based on a raglan. I will do that with these two colors. But anyway, I may get a pattern, I may not, but at least I want to do that kind of striped t-shirt or with longer sleeves, but with the idea of the Ship Shape shoulder striping effect. So next one and last purchase, that was a real impulse purchase, because she had talked about the Merilin and she was going to get some more of this cream colorway that I really had in mind to pair it with the blue jean one, the one I already had. So okay, that was not quite an impulse, even though I had told myself maybe wait for next year, next summer. Anyway, I got it and I will make it. Next one, she had teased me. She had teased me saying, I'm going to get a yarn that is just for you. Okay, so I was thinking it's going to be blue. It is, but I did not know, she did not tell me what it was. It is Isager Tweed, so Isager once again. So Tweed is 70% wool, 30% mohair, 200 meters per 50 grams, so it's a fingering weight. And you're going to tell me it looks like the maillot t-shirt and the maillot yarn you already have and you made a t-shirt out of it. Yes, it does. It's a bit plumper, and the maillot one has smaller speckles, smaller tweeds. These are a bit bigger and there is no yellow. This one is just other blues and maybe some white ones. Then the white ones may just be the mohair, maybe, or maybe not. But anyway, this is such a beautiful yarn and a beautiful yarn to the touch. I got 6 balls. This is so fingering weight. I want to make once again an oversized slipover or an oversized vest. and maybe tied on the sides. So the thing is, I just saw a pattern and I'm gonna talk about it to you as soon as I find it again. And it's a free pattern, so you may like it for yourself. It's Rim Frost by Carrie Rasmussen, and it's a Phil Colana pattern. It calls for sports yarn. Isager says it's sports yarn. Not sure it's a sports yarn on its own because it's 400 meters. That's what I said. 400 meters for 100 grams. Sounds more like fingering to me, but maybe it does behave like a sports weight. I do not know. But this pattern has several sizes and it's open on the sides with a little tie, so I can do that. When I saw it, I said, okay, this is the one I want to be doing. There is quite a bit of a lace, not a complicated one, so I will have to swatch to make sure the lace shows into that darker blue. I think it will, but I will need to swatch because there is absolutely no use into making a lace motif on a slipover and it's lace front and back. That won't show. So I think it will show enough. I think it will show enough and the yarn is, plump enough to show the lace motif. But I will see if it works, and if it works, I will use it to make that kind of a slipover. If it doesn't work, I will find some other one, either something I have in my library that I can adjust, that just knitting front and back and making ties, or buying another one that would be just plain stockinette or just plain ribbing or something that. But I think the yarn is plump enough so that it will show the color work, and I like very much the mohair content. So it's not. I think it's not mohair that has been brushed for all of the fibers. I haven't looked. All of the fibers to go out and make that kind of a fluffy mohair. It's more like the Cardé mohair that I buy in the Pyrenees at a smaller gauge, of course. And I really like the feeling of it, and it does remind me that kind of mohair Cardé that I still have some to knit from my stash. So yes, a slipover. I have enough. I have 6 skeins, so I can make an oversized one. I can make a textured pattern if I want, because it does use a bit more yarn. I can make ties on the side with the same yarn. I'm sure I have enough. And she said, you maybe just need 5. You know me, I don't like to be running out of yarn. I don't want to be fussing with different dye lots. So yes, these are the ones I got. And I did pay 56 euros for the 6 skeins. So that's it for my purchases. And you see some impulse purchases, but also something that I know I will need, I know I will like. And a slipover, I have been wearing my slipovers so much in the last year that I have been willing to knit another oversized one with a thinner yarn, because I do have yarn to knit a slipover, but it's mostly sports, even DK. I also have, of course, the Holzgarn stash, but I'm not sure I want to knit it with Holzgarn anyway. Because Holzgarn is a bit too thin, I think. So I really did not have anything in my stash that I was thinking I want to make a slipover with on some kind of a fingering weight garment. I absolutely love my blue t-shirt that I made with a maillot garn. So I'm sure I will love a slipover with a Tweedy yarn. Merilin when I bought it, as I said, a bit of cheese to finish your bread, a bit of bread to finish your cheese. It can be an endless loop where I will buy something to use the leftovers. But once again, making another striped t-shirt is something I have been having in my mind for a long time, especially because I'm wearing the one I have, and I have only one. I'm wearing the one I have a lot, and it's kind of not a very good one. It doesn't look very well any longer. The blue part is it's a very dark navy blue. So it doesn't show the fact that it's losing parts of its fibers, doesn't show, but you know, I need to put body lotion on my body every time I shower, so every day. And then when I undress at the end of the day, I have lots of little bit of blue fiber on myself. So, well, it's a nice, I really wear it a lot. I really enjoy it a lot. So I guess having a nice one is going to be, you know, perfect for myself. The sock yarn, did I need any self-striping sock yarn? No, because I already have some of the Scheepjes. I'm sorry I did not. This is always what I say, so it just escaped me not to say that on camera. But the Scheepjes one, yes, I already have some self-striping yarn. I could have said, okay, I'm making a tube out of that. When I saw this very happy color, I said €8. That's fine. So now, the big numbers. So far, we are in August. At the end of August, I have spent, all in all of the yarn, for myself, the presents, the patterns, everything, I have spent €1,051 and 48 cents. So that's €131 and 44 cents, so and 50 cents per month, which I think it's okay. It's okay. It's a bit higher than what I thought and what my unsaid, untold goal was. But I'm going to be away for a month. It's in September. Not sure I'm going to be able to go left and right in yarn shops in my area during October. So I may be good for the end of the year. I may be good, I may be not. But anyway, I'm quite happy with my recent purchases. Even half of one was an impulse buy, and one was a real impulse buy. But you know, I'm sure she doesn't order wool that frequently. That means if she was going to be she only had 6 skeins of the blue. She had other colorways. Other people the same day bought some kind of a cranberry one that is just very nice. One bought I would say a reddish brown one, and there is a really brown one that the owner of the shop wants to keep for herself or get for herself. But anyway, that was the only real impulse purchase that I had no plan for, because this year I already had a plan to make a striped t-shirt, to use my blue leftovers in a striped t-shirt, and I already had thought about getting the cream one. So it could have been waiting, you know, the blue one could have been waiting in my stash up to next summer. I did get it right now, and I may decide to knit it right now. So only one real impulse buying, but I fell in love with that yarn, right? Does it happen to you? Do you fall in love with yarn? When I saw it, I said, yeah, it's mine, it's for me, it's just me. And I like the mohair contact, the mohair feeling in my hand, the rough mohair feeling in my hands. So yes, there you have it. I have a plan to knit from my deep Holzgarn stash. I have a plan to finish some Merilin. I have a plan to knit socks, and I have a plan to knit a sleepover. So I have more plans than I need. So, okay, that's gonna be it for today. My August 2025 checking for my Yarn Mindful by project. You see that I've been partially good, partially not that good, but I did not go overboard, and most of all, I did not get just plain stash yarn. I know I'm gonna need all of what I've bought. So I think it's good. I think it's good, and I think I'm happy. And seeing that very beautiful tweed yarn really, really, really made me very happy. So I hope this last video for August is going to find you and you will be well. I'm not sure how many videos I will post in September. I've already pre-filmed one. Not sure I will have enough time to pre-film more. So there may be no video next week and one in the middle of September. Maybe, and we'll see from there. If I have enough time and to film another and edit another video this week, I will do. If not, that's going to be it. There will just be one video in the middle of September. Anyway, I hope you are doing good, and I hope you are feeling good, even if this very, very horrible world we are living in. And I know some of you have health issues, personal health issues, health issues in your family, the people who are close to you, and I know that brings you some suffering, and I want to tell you, when I knit, I think of you. I place positive thoughts into my knitting, into my little stitches, and I send them out to you. To all of you, and in particular, the ones of you who have, health issues, social issues, other problems, health issues in your family, in the people close to you. And I hope that you can receive them, and I hope that you can feel them. And we do need to place, positive thoughts, joy and happiness into our knitting, because it's not going to come all by itself, and we have to actively work on that. In particular, when all the environment is trying to drag us down towards a negative loop, a negative train of thoughts. So we do have to work on that, and we do have to work on that every day. So I hope that one, you manage to do so for yourself. Two, that the ones who need them can feel my little stitches coming over to them. And I will see you next time. I hope I will see you next time, and I hope I will see you at least once in September. Take care, my friends. Take good care of yourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top. I'm just not working, no woolen enough. So we are going to be just starting, I think, chronologically. This is the oldest one. This yarn I did not buy, and let me just get the other balls. Top. Don't get old. Don't get old. So it's top. Okay. Next and last, so I may have said, I don't recall if I've said that. If I haven't, I will say it now, and if I've said it already, I will cut it out. For the Merilin, the 5 balls that I bought, I spent 40 euros.